Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm KeylowK and today we're going to be rating the UNGA BUNGA. The creator did not give this build a name, so I decided to go with UNGA BUNGA because why not? Anyways, this build is created by Angbata11. As always, I'll be going over the pros and cons of this build and giving my opinions on it. If you have not heard of Angbata11, then I suggest you go check out his channel that should show up on screen right here. This content creator specializes in creating Elden Ring builds from scratch. He also creates content for other games such as Armored Core 6, Monster Hunter, and so much more. So if that sounds like your thing, then go drop by his channel and give him a sub or watch some of his content. I'm sure he would appreciate that. As always, before we jump into the content, I'll give you all a quick overview of how we judge the builds we rate. Let's get it! This is just a quick overview before we jump into the content. We rate these builds on three things: drip, how fresh does the build look; PvE, how much damage this build can produce and how well does it work against enemies or bosses in the game; and PvE, how well does it work against other players. Each section gets a score from 1 to 10 and the build gets an overall score of 30. I just want to say that I don't have any agendas or ill intent on any creators' builds that I rate. I thought this was a really fun idea to bring to life, and I have the utmost respect for all creators on this platform grinding it every day to create content for us to enjoy. Anyways, that's enough for this part. Let's get into the content. In all honesty, this build looks like a mismatch for everything. The Royal Remains Greaves and Gauntlets suit because they are from the same set. The Raptor's Black Feathers, in my opinion, are dope. And the Navy Hood is okay. It's probably the only thing that don't suit on this build in my opinion. This build is carrying 2 Giant Crushers plus 25 with the heavy affinity. AngBata also said that the weapons became weaker at plus 25, but when he made his video, it was about a year ago, but everything has changed since then throughout the oncoming patches. So now the Giant Crusher gets stronger at plus 25. You also get the Giant Crushers near the Outer Wall Phantom Tree Site of Grace and the Minor Erd Tree Church. Follow the road up to the church, you will see there's a fork in the road. Go down the right hand path, follow the path, and you will see a big black cart. It will be in the chest on the back of it. Be careful because there is some enemies there. Anyways, to get 2 Giant Crushers, you need to be a New Game Plus, or you can get a friend to drop it off to you in co-op. For me, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Anyways, on to the next one. Let's get it! The starting class for this build is the Hero. This is also a strength build, and the Ash of War on the 2 Giant Crushers is the Royal Knight's Resolve. You also need to duplicate the Ash of Wars. The talismans on this build are the Great Jar of Arsenal, Radagon's Sword Seal, the Claw Talisman, and the Ritual Sword Talisman. We also have the Commander Standard, which we are only using it for the Ash of War buff Rallying Standard. The seal is the Clawmark Seal plus 5, so you can use the incantation Flame Grant Me Strength. There is also no physic for this build. I've had to change the stat of strength from 80 to 75 and put 5 extra points into stamina, or this build here will be fat rolling. You also get 5 extra points from Radagon's Sword Seal, so you still hit 80 strength. With all that being said, the stats will come up on screen right here. So let's get into the content. I figured since this is a New Game Plus, I would just try it out with 1 Giant Crusher. So I do Rallying Standard, Flame Grant Me Strength, I drink the Blue Flask, I do the 2 Ash of Wars, oh my god! Wow! Look at that damage! That's crazy! And these guys are tanky and hit hard.
Yeah, boy.
I was on my way to go fight the Crucible Knight, then I saw the Erd Tree Avatar, so I wondered what is stronger, wood or stone?
and just beat the devil out of him.
Sheesh! Yeah, you're not gonna get me. Come on. Let's go! I really thought the Crucible Knights were tough. Just watch this. Damage. Foul tarnished. Get wrecked, Margot. You got me. Damn. Time to buff my weapons. Boom. I love the damage on this weapon. Hey, he's got the same weapon as me, man. Come on, come on. Let's buff him up again. Oops. Made a mistake there. Roll out the way. Let's buff them both and... Well, I missed. That sucks. Oh well, still got him. I put this clip in to show you that when this guy is blocking and you do the Ash of War, it breaks the shield or it breaks the guard. Then you get a free hit. In all honesty, this is probably one of my favorite fights in the game. Let me know in the comments section who your favorite boss fight is in PvE. Sheesh, the damage! Malekith looks fresh, and you can't change my mind about it. I do the Ash of War. Sheesh! Goodbye, my friend. I found this build to be super fun in PvE. I was basically going Super Saiyan UNGA BUNGA style. The biggest highlight of this build is its damage output. With everything buffed, this gets roughly around 3k damage at its lowest. These weapons give you semi-hyper armor while you're attacking. The jump attack and R1 are your go-to attacks for this build. Buffing a weapon with the Ash of War and connecting the hit with an enemy that is using a shield breaks their shield blocking stance, but doesn't stance break them, so it leaves them open for an attack. This will work on small to medium enemies, but I'm not too sure on large enemies. Now for the cons. Sometimes when you do the jump attack, one of your weapons misses and doesn't connect, so I thought that was worth mentioning. It can be slow, and your recovery speed is slow as well. You will need a lot of timing and prediction, so just keep that in mind. And the poison's not that good as well. It's 34, so being a neutral and getting attacked will stagger you. With that being said, I'm going to give this a 8.5 out of 10 for PvE. In all honesty, you don't really need 2 Giant Crushers, you only need 1. And saying that, this build will put PvE on easy mode. Anyways, onto PvP. Let's get it! Before we start, I just want to say that this build was made for PvE, so with that being said, let's play some PvP. I literally don't know what was up with tonight, but no one was really emoting. I don't care, it's the first that I've seen really. Anyways. He starts throwing rocks at me again. Look at that, I just missed my attack. I saw him doing this chainsaw thing, I looked at my health, realized that I had still a fair bit, so I figured jump attack it is. GG's. This guy wasn't emoting as well, so I figured I'd walk up to him to catch him off guard. I realized he's fat rolling, so I knew I had a chance here.
Stop! Hammer time!
And GG's. This is the first time I've seen this Ash of War being used in PvP. I'll just keep walking to the side. Thought I could jump attack him, but no. GG's. Oh, we both got the giant crushers. Let's see who's better. He does his Ash of War. I throw some poison darts. I get hit hard. Oh my god, I actually got the jump attack. I thought I'd get my Ash of War ready. And I get him! Let's go! Come on, come on, come on. We're backing out. We'll have to see what happens. And we got him! GG's! I faced this guy before, and that's all he did was just turned his back, buffed himself, and then tried to spam his Ash of War. So I figured I won't let that happen. I thought it was that other lightning attack where it just hits you straight away. Does that Ash of War. Uses his pike or his spear. Right now I don't know how to face this guy, so I'm just seeing what he's got. And we get out of there. This was the one that I was talking about. And GG's. Tonight was pretty weird playing PvP. This is a good example of what everyone was doing tonight. What they were doing was literally waiting till I actually attack, and then all they were trying to do was just counter attack. It was the silliest thing ever. I looked up a content creator called Rust Bucket to see why they were doing this, and now I actually understand why. He made it really clear. I just wanted to show what most of my games were like tonight with this build. And these were some of the losses that I had. I was getting backstabbed quite a lot with this build as well. Anyways, it's time to show you my findings. Not gonna lie, this build has to be one of the most frustrating builds I have ever played with. And that's trying to be as nice as I can in PvP. There are some redeeming factors, but for the most part, it was a little frustrating. Anyways, we'll go on to the pros. The running R1 will be your go-to attack on this build. The jump attack, if landed on the opponent, will take off some massive damage. The best way to use this build in PvP is to two-hand one of the giant crushers. In my opinion, it's the only way to use this build in PvP. And as always, the biggest highlight of this build is the damage output. Now there is a few cons here, so bear with me. Because of the slow recovery speed from certain attacks, if you whiff, other players can get a free backstab on you. Well, that was from my experience. Most attacks can be interrupted during the animation, so in saying that, it's not a good build for trading. The jump attack takes up a lot of stam, but that's a common thing with strength builds. The range on the giant crushers is not the best. Maybe that was just a me thing, I don't know. And the weirdest thing is that if you play this build, everyone will just wait till you attack so they can counter attack you. So that is something to mention. With everything being said, I am going to give this a 4 out of 10 for PvP. I think the score that I just gave is appropriate just because it has so much cons to the build in PvP. Anyways, on to the outro. So let's go over the pros and cons that actually matter on this build so you can make up your mind about whether this is the right fit for you. The biggest highlight for this build is how much damage it can inflict on your opponents. You can practically bonk your way to Elden Lord, putting PvE on easy mode. The attacks that matter on this build are R1, running R1, and the jump attack. If you can get all the buffs on yourself as well while doing these attacks, then it's the icing on the cake. This was through my experience. This is one of the biggest cons on this build, and that is the slow recovery speed. In PvP, I was getting punished a lot, mainly through whiff punishing and backstabs. The range is okay in PvE, but when it comes to PvP, it becomes a little bit of a challenge, so this is something to mention. most of your attacks can be interrupted because of the build having low poise. If you are not careful, your attacks can chew up your stamina bar, so keep an eye out for that if you use this build. So let's go on to the scoring board to get our final result. For drip, I gave this a 7 out of 10. For PvE, I gave this a 8.5 out of 10. And for PvP, I gave this a 4 out of 10. So that comes to a total of 19.5 out of 30. This build, in my opinion, is a decent build. It does have a really attractive pro, and that's its damage output, but it also comes with a few cons. Would I play this again for PvE? Yeah, I definitely would play this again for PvE. Would I play this again for PvP? On this one, I'm going to have to pass. Most of the people I faced in PvP were basically waiting for me to attack. It was just weird in my opinion. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the content. Give this channel a like and a subscribe if you would like to see more content like this. And if you disagree or agree with anything, then let me know in the comment section. I'll reply back to you. If you like this video, then you're probably going to like the next one, which will come up somewhere on the screen. Anyways, everyone have a blessed day or night, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!